How's it going, everybody? I thought it was only right to give a recap on how I saw the action on Saturday night. Luis Alberto Lopez against Michael Conlan at the Odyssey Arena, formerly the Odyssey Arena, the SSE Arena in Belfast. First of all, I'll talk about the atmosphere. The atmosphere was incredible. I mean, spine tingling. I've always wanted to be at a fight at the Odyssey, kind of behind the scenes, not involving myself and just soaking up the atmosphere. And I got the chance to do that when Mick fought Lopez only a few nights ago. Incredible atmosphere, which was to be expected, obviously. The fight itself, it was always going to be a tough fight. I just about fancied Mick to win it. I thought he could win it in points if he was, clever and boxed from the outside. But I think Lopez is actually a better fighter than I originally thought. There was a question asked of me in the build-up to the fight by Paul Dempsey, who was working on the BT broadcast, and it was talking about the likes of the great Mexican featherweights and lighter weight guys like Barrera, like Morales. They were the two names that was mentioned. And I says this guy could maybe get to their level, but there's a long way to go. And I still stand by that. I think there is a long way to go. He's not at that level. He needs the right fights and the right fighters to fight against, and he needs to go up the divisions as well to be classed at the level of Barrera and Morales. They're two greats after all. But he is an incredible fighter. In my opinion, he's the #1 featherweight on the planet. Somehow you've got Brandon Figueroa, the #1 ranked fighter on BoxRec. Very good fighter, but he's not better than Lopez. Not a chance. Lara, who lost to Lee Wood, is in the rankings as well. I don't think either of those guys, Lara or Lee Wood, beat Lopez. Josh Warrington, who had a closer fight, a reasonably close fight with him, is up there as well. Ray Vargas as well, another good fighter. But for my mind, I think that this Lopez kid is the #1. So unorthodox, throws punches from strange angles. So he's one of these fighters that you would really struggle to get up. Like, who do you spar to fight this guy? There's no one with a style like him. It's really unique. He's jumping in from angles that are below his knees, bringing his height down to like 3 foot and jumping 10 foot across the ring and landing uppercuts. How do you defend against that? I don't really know. He can punch hard, he can box, he can fight on the inside when he wants to, he can take a shot as well. Now, Mick wouldn't be the biggest puncher in the world, but he certainly punches hard enough to get people's respect. And I think Kareem Gurfi, who was a former European champion in the fight previous to that, knew that after a first round stoppage. But Mick hit him pretty clean and they just had no effect. They bounced off this kid's head. And the sound of his shots, Lopez's shots sitting ringside are incredible. Really good fighter. And for me, the #1 featherweight on the planet. Where does he go next? I don't really know. I think there is fights for him. Massive fights for him. Lara would be huge, obviously, an all Mexican showdown. Ray Vargas again, a huge one. And there's a number of fights that he could take. A fight that I think may start to be talked about, maybe him versus Inoue. Inoue is the weight division below, obviously looking to come up through the weights, and an incredible fighter in his own right. I love everything about Inoue, but I don't see him as the favourite in a fight with Lopez. I really think that this kid could be something very special and a fighter that we talk about very fondly. Like Barrera and like Morales in 10 and 20 and 30 years time. I genuinely think that he's that good after seeing him up close and personal. Mick Conlan, where does he go after this? It's a difficult one because for me, Mick is probably the most skilled fighter that Ireland has ever seen. And I mean that, but that's no consolation to him. He'll be disappointed that he's lost a fight. He's had 2 cracks at a world title now. He lost very unluckily to Lee Wood right at the death. But this fight, he was taken apart. It was probably one of the best 5-round fights that I've ever seen. The action in it was incredible. The atmosphere was incredible. Mick trying to dig in and fight back and showing a lot of bravery. But Lopez just being a bully and bossing the fight, and I think this kid's an animal, genuinely. But really, really good to watch it up close and see how good this kid is. But Mick, I mean, he's not getting any younger now. And I think one of the issues going forward for Mick would be that he is a difficult fight for people, but he's lost twice. He's had 2 world title attempts and he's lost twice. So a champion may look at Mick Conlan and go, why do I need to take that fight? He doesn't really bring loads to the table because of the defeats now. And it's a hard fight. So it's going to be difficult for him, and they need the back in the top rank, and he need his brother Jamie as well to try and pull a few strings and get a couple of wins again maybe before he's back in line to fight. I think he may have to get into a mandatory position because, like I said, most skilled fighter in Ireland, I think, and who wants to fight him if you're going to have a difficult fight if he's in a voluntary position. So it's a difficult one for Mick. I was disappointed for him. I know that his family will be disappointed, and a lot of Belfast will be disappointed. And what I will say, and again, no consolation, there's been much lesser world champions than Mick Conlan, and I do think he can come back, but it's not going to be easy. But Lopez, absolute bull, absolute animal, and I think we'll be hearing this guy's name talked about alongside the greats in years to come. Excellent fighter.